Well, hello everybody and welcome to Phoenixville Library, whether you are in the room or on Zoom. Glad to have you with us. I'm Mark Pinto, the Adult Services Director here, and this is take two for Amy Kokoles. Bad weather seems to follow her, maybe, I don't know. We canceled her in January because of a, what was it, ice or snow? I forget what it was, and now we've got potential storms tonight, but we are here and we are live and glad to have Amy here. Amy is an international best-selling author, motivational life coach, Reiki master, teacher, and certified angel guide. And tonight she's here to tell women how to live a prosperous and enchanted life, speaking about her books, The Wild Woman's Book of Prosperity and The Wild Woman's Book of Alchemy. Please welcome Amy. Oh, and before that, those of you on Zoom, if you have questions or comments during Amy's talk, please type them into the chat and I will relay them to her. All right, Amy, take it away.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Mark, for having me. Hi, guys, on Zoom and in person. Nice to meet you. So I'm really excited to be here. Nervous, but excited. And I want to give you a little bit about myself and my background. I grew up the middle child of 5 kids, and of course, we were all labeled in my family, right? We all had our box, we all had our label, we all had our identity. And from the very beginning, as far back as I can remember, it didn't sit right with me. I don't like to be called things, I don't like to be labeled. I don't like to be told what I should and shouldn't do. And unfortunately, that's what my family was about. Just, managing us and telling us what to do. So I kind of was a rebellious child, rebellious teenager, and my mom didn't know what to do with me. It was always like, you need to calm down, you need to be quiet, you talk too loud, you're looking for attention. And what it came out as, actually, is I'm Italian, I'm an Aries, and I have a theatrical voice, and it carries. And that served me well now in my adulthood, but it was not so much in my childhood. So as I was growing up and so unhappy, so not knowing my place in this world, trying to find out who I was, and being told, you're this, when I knew I wasn't this, I was that. And not even that. I was everything I wanted to be, but it was here. It was stuck in my soul. So I started, as a late teenager, hearing these, I call them whispers. You need to do something. You need to break out. You need to understand who you are and your worth and your value to this world. And I didn't think I had any. So that started me on my long journey of not being the best person as far as my family was concerned. I was dating a lot of guys. I was doing a lot of stuff, not illegal stuff at all, luckily, but just finding my way, sowing my oats, and just wanting to become who I was meant to be. So fast forward several years, and I just kept this pattern. Family didn't like it, and I met my husband. And I'm blessed, John, he loves my wild streak. He loves letting me be my most authentic, beautiful self. And that was always it. I wanted to be me. I didn't know what me looked like or what me sounded like, but I knew it wasn't what they thought I was. So growing up though, my mom always did say to me, you have a book in you. You need to write a book. So I would dilly-dally and write stuff down and throw in a copybook and throw it in the closet for years. And I would come upon it again years later and be like, I should do something. So fast forward to January of 2022. My friend Melissa Kim-Porter, who's actually the one who organized the book, sent an email out, and she said, this is my story. Does this sound like you? Are you interested? And she sent to all kinds of, whoever was on her email list. Do you think you want to write in my next book, The Wild Woman's Book of Prosperity? I'm like, me, a writer? What the hell, why not? So I'm like, I call my husband, I'm like, you have to hurry up and get home from work, I gotta talk to you. So I put it out there, I'm like, listen, I want to do this, and yes, it's, a decent amount of money, but it's okay, we're gonna do something with this. So we all got together, we sat and chit-chatted, and the one thing was, Melissa said, you guys don't want to speak to each other about what prosperity is. We were given a task. We were asked what prosperity meant to us. And she said, please, we weren't going to talk to each other. She wanted the book just to be genuine and authentic and just flow on its own. So when we all got together, we actually got the copies and got the all the copies together and got the drafts together. We got the drafts to read. It was amazing how all the stories just flowed together. So it was actually myself and sadly, I don't remember the number of women. I think there's 38 in the original, in the first book, Wild Woman's Book of Prosperity, from across the globe. And everything just flowed together. So, of course, then within no time, it came out Halloween weekend, the 30th of 2022, and we became international best-selling authors. Changing off my bucket list, right? And the more time, as the closer I got to him coming out, I started to panic. My mom was in a nursing home. Oh my God, if she reads what I wrote, she's gonna have a heart attack and die. That's gonna be my fault. So, luckily, as fate would have it, it came out Halloween weekend, and she passed away the 2nd of November. So, I'm thankful and I'm grateful that nobody got their hands on it enough to read it to her. And not that there's anything bad about her in there, it's my truth, and that would never ever have been her truth, nor would she ever acknowledge that any of this was truthful. And that's sad. And it wasn't, and what I was looking for was my story, nobody else's. So, anybody have any questions so far? All right, so I'm going to start getting a drink of water. So Melissa Kim Porter, like I said, she actually organized it, put it all together. And the synopsis of the book is, when a woman struggles to know her power, the eternal world will reflect it back to her until she receives the wisdom. She will be drawn to what is missing. She will notice what isn't present. She will hunger for something greater, all the while finding herself caught in the endless trap of not enough. This is a cycle Melissa Kim Porter has faced time and time again and has walked thousands of women through. The liberation of this devastating belief shifted everything. The pages are filled with powerful women who share a desire to live a prosperous, enchanted life and to connect you to the abundance around and within you. In the Wild Woman's Book of Prosperity, Melissa Kim Porter, and there it is, 32 prosperous women, offer stories, tips, formula, and wisdom to help shift you into a potent medicine of all. The most potent medicine of all. The reclamation of the enchantment with the energy of prosperity. So, what prosperity means to me is, and people are like, oh, it's money, and prosperity to me is not money. My prosperity was listening to my beautiful whispers and coming home to who I was. Settling into my bones, into my soul, into my heart, and knowing that, in fact, this is me. This is okay. There's nothing wrong with who I am and who I want to be. Sorry, I'm getting a little warm. So, if you guys would like, I'd like to deliver my chapter to you. As I sit here searching for the exact right words to say, I am stopped dead in my tracks. I hear her calling to me, begging me to speak the words that are on my heart. She is lovingly asking me to allow myself to be seen and heard, and to shine my most beautiful, authentic self, as my most beautiful, authentic self. She is my constant, my deep knowing that I'm called to be more, so much more than I've ever dared to allow myself to dream. She is my beautiful whisper. The reason I'm here is to share my journey of becoming my most beautiful, authentic self. We all have our own journeys to becoming, a path that is uniquely ours. We may not know how to start, but if we get quiet and listen, our soul will whisper the way. My journey started with the knowing that I needed something different. I wanted to be seen, feel loved, and know that my presence in this world was needed and that I was enough. As I followed my path, I had no idea where I was going to end up, but I just knew that I would never be the same again, and for that I'm eternally grateful. My hope is that as you read my story, you can listen to your own soul's beautiful whispers so that you can begin to trust the process and allow yourself to flow in the most amazing dance of self-love and self-worth. And as you finally choose to stand and shine, in your authenticity, you will realize that the most prosperous gift, that you will realize that is the most prosperous, precious gift you have ever given yourself. My entire life I felt as though I didn't fit in, especially my family. I always felt different. Invisible at times, not totally loved or understood. I was labeled, to be honest, all 5 of us, I was middle of 5 children, were all assigned a label in my family. I'm not sure how or when it started or why it started, but our labels are still being used today. My label was the family outcast, and I hated always being referred to that way. I desperately just wanted to be me. No labels, just me. I had something inside of me that kept whispering, there has to be more. And yet every time I got the courage to take a break free and leave my label behind, I was quickly put back in my place. Growing up, I had very few close girlfriends who meant the world to me. I spent so much of my time at their houses that I felt their families were mine. I felt loved and accepted by each of them and so secure knowing I could just be me. Unfortunately, once we went to high school, it all fell apart. We tried to stay connected, but things had changed. The support system I'd known and loved and needed was gone. So during high school, I got involved in working, dating, and other activities to keep myself busy. I surrounded myself with new friends, hoping they would fill the void I was feeling, and after a while, I settled in and began to enjoy my life again. Yet, inside, the whisper continued to tell me there was more. I found myself craving alone time, needing to be in a quiet space where I could just be. I remember so many nights getting in my car and just driving around for hours and hours, no destination in mind. I'm going to fast forward here. After I graduated from high school, I again lost my support system. I sought out people who really weren't good for me, just so I could have the connection I so desperately needed. As I entered college, I could see the same pattern as I had been avoiding coming back into my life. Once again, I was driving around begging, pleading, and bargaining, pouring my heart out to whoever was up there listening, but still I didn't get a response, or so I thought. During this whole time, almost every single time I had these talks, I would get a whisper deep inside. This whisper was just loud enough to get me to pause for a moment. I tried to avoid my feelings with classes and working and dating and partying, but no matter how hard I tried, the loneliness and the feelings of being invisible and misunderstood and unloved were still there. As I made my way through college, I started to feel different, more comfortable in my own skin and my worth. The better I started to feel about myself, the more I started to push back against my family and their perception of me as the outcast. Unfortunately, I never could break quite free of that label. By the time I graduated, I felt on top of the world. Those feelings I carried with me for all those years were finally gone. They eventually returned, and I went back to spending a lot of time alone. This time, I wanted things to be different. I kept hoping, praying, begging for change. This time, I heard that familiar whisper. I listened. As I did, I allowed everything I had been feeling my entire life to wash over me like a tidal wave. I realized it was time for me to do something different. I began journaling, reading, and talking to God, my angels, and any other being out there. I started unpacking all the lies that I told myself, all the lies I let myself believe, and realized that I was the family, I realized that I really was the family outcast. But now instead of fighting it, I totally embraced it. I remained close to him. I met and married the love of my life, John. He loves and supports me and allows me to be myself always. Having his love and support has allowed me to trust myself enough to go deeper on my path to find my authentic self. I had remained close to my grandmother, and we talked several times a week, and John and I visited her often. When she passed away, though, I was sad. I was incredibly grateful that I was able to have such a connection with her. At the funeral, my dad, who actually was separated from our family, and I only saw him maybe once every few years, asked me if I could help him clean out my grandmom's second house she had with a new husband, and I agreed. We started spending time together with a man that although he was biologically related to me, was a stranger. As my dad and I grew closer, I could see so much of myself in him. At the same time, my relationship with my mom and siblings quickly started to fall apart. I realized that even though I loved them, they were and still are incapable of being a loving, supportive force in my life. My mom was my best friend, and I suspect she felt betrayed by me having a relationship with the man who left us all those years ago. I tried to hold on to whatever was left between us, but it was all in vain. Finally, in sheer devastation, I dropped to my knees and let them all go. I continued my relationship with my dad. I absolutely cherished it. He saw me not as a label, but as a completely whole person. It's funny how many times I knew exactly what he was thinking without a single word. Then came the day I had to tell him he was dying. My dad, who was so strong physically and spiritually, cried in desperation when I broke the news. He became so angry with me that he denied my words and told me to get out of his hospital room. We struggled for a few weeks with our relationship before finally getting back on solid ground. I was with my dad until the end, and I'm so happy that I trusted myself enough to be vulnerable with him. By allowing my dad into my life, I got to experience the unconditional love from a parent. I'm so grateful that I got to know and love my dad. Our relationship has healed me in ways I never knew I was even broken. As I closed my dad's life and began looking at myself with a deeper love and understanding, I realized that those whispers, my whispers, had been there all along. For every prayer I said, every question I asked, I always got an answer. I just didn't know it at the time. After so many years of trying and failing, more times than I'll probably ever admit, I finally found what was missing. It was my beautiful, authentic self. I realized that I was enough. In fact, I was more than enough, and that I had value just because I was me. I am so happy that I finally listened to my whispers deep inside, the whispers that call me to stand in my authenticity and to shine my bright, beautiful light to the world. For all that I was and all that I have become, I am so eternally grateful to my beautiful whispers. So that's part of the first chapter of this. So, you guys have any questions or nothing?
I do.
Okay.
So each chapter is a different woman's story, is that it?
It is, and some of the women did, like, because it's prosperity, and of course they could do like little spells of, like, you know, blow cinnamon over your front door on the new moon or the first day of the new month. Some of them talked about actual money, like how they dealt with money, different money tips they learned. Other ones told stories like I did. It's a wide variety of things, and again, we were talking, I'm not sure if you heard, give me word prosperity. What does prosperity mean to you? Melissa Kim Porter, who organized it, really didn't want us chit-chatting. She's like, I want to see authentically what you guys come up with on your own. And then we'll see, and funny enough, it all meshed together amazingly. When we got the draft, the rough draft, we read it, it just flew. You would have thought we were all sat in a room together. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Lately I've just been intrigued by how common family dynamics are.
Yes.
You know, and how people have their roles. You hear stories of,
Yes.
like, you know, one kid as a grown-up being a doctor, and someone will hurt their foot, and they'll be like, oh, call John, who was, you know, is a gardener or something like that.
Right.
You know, so I'm just curious, in your case, do the others have, you know, what you would consider labels? And
Yes.
so what are they?
Okay, so my oldest sister is labeled, right, and I'm trying to think of the right label to call her, but my mom always said she's just like my mother. She's innocent, she's pure, she doesn't do anything wrong, she's just naive. So my mom was protective of my oldest sister because she's just like her mother. The second one down was Miss in charge, Miss Control. Miss, you went to her, I don't want to mention names, if you had money issues, she would set you straight, or if you needed advice, or she thought you needed advice. That's the case. She thought you needed advice. She would tell you, and you better listen to it. And her and I went toe to toe many times, and right now, my siblings don't speak to me any longer. It's okay. It's good. Then it was me, the middle child. Of course, I was always known as the troublemaker, the outcast, the middle child. I had the middle child syndrome. That's what they always said. Oh, you're just a middle child, don't worry about it. My brother was the only boy in an Irish Catholic family, so you know how that goes, right? He was the prize. My youngest sister actually had cancer when she was born, and she was our miracle child, because she survived. Mom, we're all miracles. All of us are miracles, but she never ceased to say, she's such a miracle. Isn't she our family's miracle? No, we're all miracles. So there was a lot of stuff that went on there as well. And it's sad to me because I finally got to know who I was. And again, seeing my dad and he and I interacting, his girlfriend would be like, Amy said da-da-da-da. And he would finish what I was saying to her on the phone with her. And my dad would say, did you tell Amy? And Pat's like, his girlfriend's like, she's already telling me what you want to tell her. And this man, I never spent really any time with this man. I was close to his mom. But my dad would come, the obligatory phone call on the birthday. And if he happened to be in the area, he would stop down to Delaware where we'd see his mom and dad or, our other grandparents as well on Christmas and Easter. But yeah, so I really didn't know him. And to have him love me just as me, I don't have to put on airs, I'm just me. Foul mouth when I want to be, and he didn't care. He just accepted me for me. And that, to me, understanding that I'm worthy of that love as a human, it just made all the difference in the world. Of course, and my husband was first to love me that way. He must probably listening, so I want to make sure. But he's my best friend. He's my soulmate, and I'm extremely blessed. So, like I said, my husband was not a fan of my father's because he left my mom and 5 kids. But he did say to me, you needed to meet your father. You needed to know your dad. He's like, it's just something you needed to do. And unfortunately, my mom could never see that. She took it as a slap in her face. And it honestly wasn't. It was just something I needed to do. And that, I think, put more of the puzzle pieces together and got me to be like, wow. He sees me, he loves me, he doesn't even know me. But I'm part of him and he accepts me for me. So, But, yes?
Can you talk a little bit about how you're an angel guide?
I would love to.
And what that's about?
Yes, ma'am. So with the Whispers, I always felt like I could we all talk to God. Well, whatever we want to call it, spirit, guide, whatever. I always felt like the Whispers calling me to more, calling me to be more spiritually based. And I was raised Roman Catholic, high school, grade school, and college. Mm-hmm. So you don't talk to angels. You don't ask God for favors. You don't talk to God like he's your friend, right? God's here, you're here, and you just serve him. God's a mean God. God's a revengeful God. God's no. And it just didn't sit right with me. I was like, no, it doesn't seem right to me. So I got interested in angels, and funny enough, I would see all these, I don't know if you guys know, some people do the synchronicities. Mm-hmm. You think about somebody, they'll call you. People also call me aha moments. I'm a 777 girl, 888 girl. I see numbers everywhere. Mm-hmm. I see 222, and when I was investigating it, my dad's social security number, when he passed away, I realized his social security number began with 222. My grandparent, his parents' wedding anniversary is February 20th. His mom's birthday was February 2nd. His mom's birthday was February 20th. My birthday is April 2nd, on my 222s. So that was my validation that we're in fact connected, soul family-wise. So going back to the angel guide, I just always felt angels around me. And people are like, you're crazy. No, it's just a feeling I had. And I decided that I wanted to do something about it. So I started reading up on angels. Sunny Dawn Johnston is one of the people who's actually an angel person. And I started taking classes with her. And Kyle Gray from the UK is another one. I got really interested in what he had to say. And I took his classes, and he offered a class on, a program on becoming a certified angel guide. And honestly, we all have it. We all have the connection. It's just if you want to dive deeper or not. So I decided I was going to dive deeper. So basically what I do is I read angel cards, be like, oh my God, there's tarot. They're not tarot. And tarot cards aren't bad. It's always the intention behind everything. So I pull angel cards. Viv's one of my ladies. She's on my group, my private group. Sunday night I pull angel cards for everybody. And I get messages. And basically I just tell you what the message I'm getting for you is. And I actually start to hear in my head, I hear things, or things will pop in front of my face and just shows up. And I also became a Reiki master teacher as well as it's that path of spirituality, wanting the connection of wanting to feel authentic and tied into the universe, whatever the universe looks like for you. So in becoming a Reiki Master Teacher, that's how my angel card, my angel connection, because I can do Reiki on people now, and I'll actually get messages. Did a Reiki share the other night, and there's 3 of us, and I said to the one woman, I said, I'm going to tell you something odd. I got Oscar the Grouch and Big Bird. She's laughing. What's so funny? And she's like, well, my mom's going tomorrow to pick up a new bird, and she's naming him Big Bird. I'm sorry, Oscar. She's naming him Oscar. I was like, oh my God, Oscar, Grouch, Big Bird. I'm like, okay. So just since I've done that, a lot of things have developed. I can think of something, and it shows up. Somebody calls me. I also have a group. It's called Becoming You Beautiful Whispers. It's on Facebook. It's a free group. It's women supporting women. It's allowing you to be your authentic self. If you're having a bad day, you just want to vent, we're there. If you have a celebration, we're there. If you want to put up jokes, we're there. Whatever it is. So I invite you guys all to join if you like. It's private. Anything that's said in that group stays in that group. Non-negotiable. So you don't have to worry about that if you're having a bad time with a relationship and putting it in there, it's safe. So that brings me back home to, like, I enjoy the angel cards. I enjoy talking about angels. I enjoy teaching about angels. My next goal, I think, is going to actually start teaching Reiki. We talk about it in our group. I have some Reiki teachers in my group. So we talk about it, and I want to start teaching Reiki and training people to become Reiki teachers as well if they would like, or just Reiki practitioners, or angel guides as well if you're interested. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions? No?
Anybody on Zoom have a question? Feel free to unmute.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to the second book now. And with the great success of the first book, I was like, I'm unstoppable. I tried to get my thoughts together to write my own personal book, and I put it aside again. I'm like, no, it's a one and done. I'll never get international best-selling author again. The doubts start coming in again, right? So again came the email. Are you interested in being, this is actually the last of a series. I was in book 2 and 3. Email came from us, Kim Porter. Hey, are you interested? We had a great time last time. You're interested again. Last and final book in the series. Sure, why not? I'll do it again. This time it's about alchemy. I'm like, what the hell is alchemy? Like, what? I'm like, So I did some research. I'm like, oh, alchemy's about changing. I don't know why I thought it was something else, but it's about changing. And, just, trying to figure it all out. And again, we weren't supposed to talk to any of us. And, keep it to ourselves. And, my phone. And so this is exciting because I started, I signed the contract, I believe, in March. And literally I sat down, I was washing dishes. Yes, I still wash dishes by hand. I'm washing dishes and I hear this, I'm like, Angel, stop. I need 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes later, I ran into my office, sat down with my laptop on the sofa, started typing it out. Hour later, I was done. Closed my laptop up. Of course, I tried to make sure I saved it first. I'm like, chapter's done. I literally just signed the contract in March. It was due June 15th. So here comes June 1st, and we're getting reminders, hey, it's due soon. Pull out my laptop, do some switching, submit it. And Melissa's like, what? It's in. I'm like, yeah, it's in. I'm done. And that's the beautiful thing about when you get to know who you are, and you get to listen to your whispers, and you understand your connection. Whether you're having a bad day or whatever it is, your angels guide you. I didn't write that chapter. My angels did. I just was the conduit for the keyboard. I do that a lot. I started now to channel, freaky as it sounds. I just sometimes, my friend Viv's online, but she'll actually, I'll just sit there reading angel cards and I'll look to the side and just my mouth opens and words come out. And they're like, you realize you just channeled, right? I'm like, okay, I don't remember what I said. It just happens. We all have that connection, depending on how deep you want to go. It's there for all of us. So I'm going to go back to my alchemy, and I want to tell you the name of my chapter is Sink, Swim, or Bob. Sometimes in our life we are told to be kind or to be reminded to be nice, to sugarcoat things or tread lightly so people's feelings won't get hurt. What if, as much as it does hurt, we need to hear the truth? Not the fluffy, made-up truth, but the facts, whether we like them or not. Maybe we need to have the sugar coating washed off and stomped so hard by reality that we finally get it. That sometimes the things we want aren't good for us. The people who promise to love us forever can't love us anymore. And the commitment they made to stay forever is broken because they decide forever is too long. When this slap of reality comes calling, it isn't kind or nice, it isn't sugary or sweet. It comes in with a sickening, sour taste that ruins your taste buds. At least for a while. It stomps in with spiked heels that dig into you so deeply and cause so much pain that you know you're going to be scarred forever. You're devastated. You don't understand why this is happening to you. And you swear that you would never allow yourself to feel this horrible again. Then with time, the sour taste lessens and the scars left by the spiked heels fade. You have taken a time out and now you have confidence to jump back into life. You know there were lessons and experiences that you needed to learn, and you swear this time you learned from them. Then it hits you. You feel different deep down in your soul. You realize those experiences brought about a beautiful change in you. You have a freedom that you never felt before. And you know that everything that you went through was for your benefit. Whether you wanted to change or not, it happened. Maybe you sought it out, or maybe like a tidal wave, it came upon you unexpectedly and swept you out to sea and left you afloat in the middle of the vastness. As you look around, you realize you're alone. There's no one coming to save you. There is no lifeboat. It can be easy to give up when these things happen, allowing the circumstances to harden our hearts. Sometimes we pull back and isolate ourselves, deciding it's safer than engaging in life. But it's in these difficult times that you have to make a decision. Do I sink, swim, or bob? Growing up, I was told not to rock the boat, not to cause waves, to keep my mouth shut and go with the flow, to never ever talk about it, whatever it happened to be that day. So I did what I was told, and as a family, we buried our heads and issues in the sand. I spent so much of my childhood worrying and fearing that one day the sand pile would come crashing down and all that was buried would be exposed. I hated having to live this way, and it caused me to never feel truly safe. I needed to talk about things that were happening. I wanted to have actual conversations with my family and hear their opinions, to have the ability to share my feelings and my thoughts, to count on their love and support as I tried to navigate my way through life, for them to encourage me to always be myself, and the security of knowing that no matter what, my family would never turn their backs on me, that I would always have a safe shore to call home. But that's not how my life was. I grew up knowing that I was too much. No matter how I spoke, acted, or dressed, there was always an emotional undercurrent of what my family thought about me. I was told that I talked too much, nobody wanted to hear it, that my voice was too loud, and I needed to stop yelling. I was continuously reminded that I should keep what I was thinking to myself because I might hurt somebody's feelings. I was accused of trying to always be the center of attention and told repeatedly that it wasn't always about me. In fact, one of my sisters said that to me the day of my bridal shower. I can laugh about that now. Yeah. For years I was labeled, I was put in a box. This box contained all the stories that my family believed about me. And I held all the lies my family told me, including the lies they told me about myself. I knew deep inside that what they were saying about me wasn't true. I desperately wanted and needed my life to be different, but every time I tried to get out of the box, they pushed me back inside. I refused to give up and kept trying to get out, but nothing I did worked. I soon realized that instead of pushing to get out of the box, I could slowly start going through the stories and lies that were inside of it. As I started going through everything in my box, it became obvious and nothing inside was actually mine. With that realization, my box grew weaker and I was finally able to get out of my box and break free of it forever. The breakup caused my mom and 3 of my 4 siblings to fall out of my life. To say that this was one of the most traumatic and amazing things that ever happened to me in my life would be an understatement. I use the phrase fell out because it's the kindest way to say it. I was struggling to find myself, my place in the world, my beautiful, authentic voice. The people who were supposed to love me unconditionally didn't, and didn't like I was rocking the boat. But I didn't care, I kept rocking. I kept rocking until the boat capsized, and it created and thrust us all into the ocean. That's exactly what I wanted, needed, and craved. To have things so shaken up that we were all forced to finally deal with the insurmountable pile of sand. But it backfired. I watched as my siblings and my mom jumped on the only lifeboat and sailed away together. As the reality and the gravity of what I had wanted and had accomplished set in, I realized that I was all alone. I couldn't see over the immense waves that crashed against my body. The force of the water carried me back and forth, throwing me into spins that disoriented me time and time again. It was then that I realized I had to make some decisions. I knew I couldn't go back to whatever was again. I made sure of that. I weighed my options and realized that I could only sink by letting the waves of grief drown me. I could bob and just stay in the exact same place, being battered and disoriented by the ocean, or I could swim. I know in my heart the only option I had or wanted was to swim. As I started a long swim back to a new, safe shore, I started to pick apart my life. I thought about all the things I was told about who I was and who I needed to be. I began to remember how lonely I felt growing up, even though it was a house full of people. And the frustration, sadness I felt when I was labeled and put into my box. I wasn't, I realized, the person my siblings and my mom told me I was. I was beautiful, strong, and had a right to my opinions. My voice wasn't too loud, and I enjoyed talking because I was excited by life. As I continued to dive into all the things my family didn't like about me, I realized that they were the things that made me uniquely me. The deeper I went into remembering my childhood, the harder the waves crashed against me, but I kept going. Then one day, I realized the ocean was calm. As I looked back over my shoulder, I saw the waves that could have drowned me if I let them. As I looked forward, I saw my beautiful new safe shore and knew I was almost home. When I got to shore, I was blessed to meet a man who became my compass. John encourages me not to bury my head or my issues in the sand. He always wants to hear me and allows me to speak what's on my heart. He's my best friend and would never leave me or stop loving me. My husband never gives up on me. When I think about sinking, he's there to encourage me to swim. On the days I feel like bobbing, he lets me know it's okay just to hang out for a while and that he's with me. John allows me to be whatever I need to be. Oopsie. There we go. Each and every day, he accepts all of me. When I start filling my head and heart with full of old stories, he's there to make sure I know the truth. It would be so easy for me to sit back and go over everything that happened, to be sad or angry, but I will not, and I am not. I still do have minutes or days when the sadness creeps in for no reason, without reason, but when I sit with myself, the reason always comes through. Each time it does, it's because something in me, in my life, needs to change. I always used to say I hated change. I said it so many times I wore that statement to death. It wasn't until I was out there in the middle of the ocean alone that I realized I had to embrace change in order to survive. I had to say goodbye to a lot of people along the way. Yes, it was painful, and I still miss them sometimes. But for me to change, I had to leave some people alone in the ocean. I don't want to think about where I would be right now if I hadn't gone through things that were put before me, or if I just decided to bob or worse yet, sink. Today I can say I'm sad, and it can be just that simple. Maybe someone told me something about myself that isn't true, or maybe it's that I finally decided it was time to say goodbye to a friend with whom I no longer resonate. Sometimes, as much as we want it, some people cannot go on our journey with us. And it's better to put them on the only lifeboat there is and send them off with love and well wishes. I know the next time I'm in the middle of the ocean, deciding whether it's time to sink or swim or bob into my next big adventure, I can guarantee I will swim. I will embrace the changes that come from getting through the waves crashing against my body. Every single time, knowing that the changes that I'm going through, the pain, the sadness, the frustration, will always bring me back to me. Better, wiser, more in love with who I am and who I'm allowing myself to be. So that's part of my second chapter. Thank you. Thank you. And Melissa, thanks guys. Melissa's overview of the book: as we leave pieces of ourselves scattered throughout moments in time, we string them together and call it life. Those who choose to walk the path with intention find themselves gathering and regrouping along the way, picking up broken parts, knowing they can form something new. We heal old wounds, and then we share the wisdom we gained through our most turbulent times. We then call this medicine. Each time we trust the unique unfolding of the soul, the process of individualization, we discover breadcrumbs along the way, reminding us that we are supported and not alone. We begin to dream again. We pay attention to the moments of synchronicities. Instead of dismissing our knowings, we honor them, listen to them, and follow the tug as they lead us through the unknown. We don't stop when we're afraid. We don't stop when everything goes dark. Instead, we cultivate a form of inner sight and proceed to know some places we must enter without our vision. This book contains women who follow their knowings and have come out of times of darkness and indecision. This collaborative gathering of wise women includes women who have found their way home to themselves in countless creative ways. The pages within are filled with women who recognize the importance of alchemy as a process of transformational power. In the Wild Woman's Book of Alchemy, Melissa Kim Porter and a potent group of magical women offer stories, tips, formula, and wisdom to help you tap into the transformational power of alchemy. They invite you to join them in sharing the most potent medicine of all, the reclamation of enchantment through the emotional, psychological, and physical art of alchemy in numerous forms. Yeah. Awesome.
Questions, comments from anyone? Anybody on Zoom want to
Yes.
chime
Just
in?
curious,
Yes.
how old were you when you met your husband?
Older. I think I was 26.
That's not old.
No, it's not. I think I was 26. It's long. I can't remember. I'd done my dating and, I was done. No more, I'm done. I don't want to.
Then you knew, just knew.
Well, I had been seeing somebody on and off for 10 years. A lot off, more than on. And he forgot my birthday again on purpose. And told people he forgot it on purpose. So I was like, I went to the bar and I'm like, I'm done. Done. You're done. I'm done. I was like, I'm done. It was April. And then my husband in August. I was done. And I needed that final break to be like, I'm open, I'm ready, and I did the healing, I did the depth, I did the work, I did the shadow work, and of course we're still always doing it as well every day. So yes. So I was older. We've been married since 2002, been with him since 97, and we have our Grace and our puppy Maltese puppies, and I live in Plymouth Meeting. And we have no children, chose cats and dogs instead. A little simple, not always easier, a little bit simpler life. And he's got a great job. He takes care of me. And he allows me, I shouldn't say allows, but the life that we've built together affords me the ability to have my own LLC. I started my own LLC last summer, and also to do volunteer work. I'm a volunteer Medicare counselor and a volunteer Medicare fraud counselor. Although fraud counseling, I took a little bit of time off. I'm telling them I'm on the beach somewhere in Florida for a while. Mm-hmm. I needed a break. with my LLC, there's been a lot of stuff going on, and I needed to just take, since I've been doing it since, it's been over 11 years. So I'm like, I just need a little bit of a break right now. Probably 4 or 5 months, and I'll go back. So, yes, hi.
Hi. I feel like there's a lot of women that I know or have come across in life
who have had to reinvent themselves because of one reason or another. And it seems like something that women are particularly good at, but I don't think we give ourselves credit for it. And it's really wonderful to have you and the other women kind of being models and guides and recognizing those changes that happen to so many of us.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We're gonna give you a little bit of unsolicited advice. When I do my angel cards quite often, I always get the go back to your journals, go back to before, see how far you've come. We as women, you're right, we're always taking care of everybody else. Sorry, Mark. We're always taking care of everybody else, putting everybody else before us. How many times do we fix dinner, throw the dinner down for the kids or the husband or wife, whatever, whatever situation you're in, and then we finally sit down to eat and our dinner's cold. Or no, I'll change my plans because the kids need help or whatever it is. And you're right, we do that quite often. And I'm just going to ask you that if you feel that nudge, if you feel that whisper, hear that whisper, if you feel like this isn't right for me, I'm not saying you have to leave your happy home. You just have to dive into who you are. Because you're more than that. You deserve to be more than just that. And you're right, we reinvent ourselves constantly.
Don't wait for permission.
Oh God, no.
Yeah,
No.
It never comes, just.
No, you're right, it never comes. And it could be just something as simple as, hey, I know something's out there. I'm not naming whatever it is that's out there. Can you please show me the way? Can you please show me how I can live my healthiest and happiest and best life? Making myself happy. When you're on the airplane and the airplane masks come down, what do they tell you? Not put it on your kid first, put it on yourself first.
Yep.
If you can't take care of yourself first, you're going to die, and your kids are going to survive without you because you don't have the mask on. So we need to start putting ours. And even literally, I have a Jeep, and it's got leather interior and a sunroof. And literally, I'll go out there and sit there in the summer, in the hottest hot, the sunroof open, baking on the leather seats, just to get some peace and quiet. Just to come home just to listen. What do you have for me today? Hand on my heart. Take a deep breath. What do you have for me today? You want me to know something? Deep breath. You can hold the breath for 4 seconds, then blow it out if you like. Whatever it is, just close your eyes and be like, what do you want me to know today? And whether you believe in God, Holy Spirit, whatever it is, I always tell them we're all energy. We learned that in 5th grade. We're all energy, right? In science class. So I have to believe that if we're all energy and it never goes away, it just changes form, then there's something out there that connects us all together, that weaves us all together. So why can't I tap into that? Why can't I go sit in the grass and talk to the ants? You know what I mean? Why can't I go touch a tree? Ask permission first. Ask the tree if it's okay to touch it. I did that today. I'm like, hey, can I hang out with you for a little bit? Touch a tree. Take your shoes off and put your feet on the grass and get grounded. And those simple, simple things. And I have something on here that one of the ladies in my group, she's probably telling me she's here to drink water. Water is also another grounding way. Drinking it, putting your hands under the running water, and just being like, hey, I'm here, I'm present. If you're ever in a situation and you're wound up or you're angry or whatever it is, and your mind's going a mile a minute, clap your hands. Clap your hands. That brings your focus to present. That simple act of clapping brings you right back to present. If you want to connect to whatever, whomever, yourself, if you want to connect to who you are, you can only connect in the present. There's no way to connect in the past, and there's no way to connect in the future. If we're not present, we miss it. And you can even ask, how many times a day do you see signs? Oh, that's really coincidental. No, it's not coincidental. You're being spoken to. You're being asked to look for, and you can be religious or it doesn't matter. You're being asked to be more of who you are and to see what's out there. So, good questions. Anything else? Okay, you guys are taking notes.
Yeah, you're saying some things that are hitting. Thank
Fabulous.
you.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody on
Thanks for
Zoom?
sharing. Yeah. Great writing.
For the benefit of people on Zoom, where can they get your books? these
Actually,
books?
you can go to, well, if you guys get in touch with me personally, I have my books at home, and I can ship them out to you, and I'll sign them for you. And it's $20 plus shipping. Shipping's about, I think it's about $4.95 if I'm not mistaken, for the, because I'll do it media mail. And unfortunately, I can't include a bookmark because with media mail, you cannot even include a sheet of paper, because if the UPS office finds out you did that, you can get in a lot of trouble. So I can mail your bookmark out separately. But get in touch with me. It's amykokoles.com. If you would like to join our private group, there's one of my ladies that's on there. It's called Becoming You Beautiful Whispers on Facebook. She waved. And we get together. We put inspirational stuff up all day long, you know. Sometimes it's stupid little memes or jokes or whatever. Again, anybody that's in that group, you know, swears that they're not going to divulge anything that goes on in there, in case you do have issues you want to talk about. And then I do angel card readings every Sunday night for free, 7:30 Eastern. Sometimes 7:35 by the time I get on there. And yeah, I just read for everybody who's there. I also do private readings on Zoom, as well as in person. I also do Reiki healings. I talked too soon. Do Reiki healings on Zoom or in person. I started to teach angel workshops as well. All kinds of different workshops if anybody's interested, and I don't charge the workshops as of now. And if you'd like to get into Reiki, I can, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I can teach you how to do Reiki as well. So I'm not going to be done on Zoom. Eventually we'll have to do it in person though. So, if you're in the state.
Comment from somebody on Zoom, the group is full of amazing women.
That's our buddy
That's from Pam.
Yes, Pam Tatum. So, awesome. All right, ladies,
All right,
and
well,
if you're
thank
here
you.
and you would like my books, I brought them with me. And feel free, I actually have a brochure here with my services here. I also have bookmarks here if you would like to take a bookmark. And I have business cards as well if you're interested. And I really appreciate you guys listening and coming out because it is true. We're always reinventing ourselves. And if we're not, I think we should be. And whether it's just as simple as getting our hair cut, or you know, going from glasses to contacts, or trying new makeup, which I did a whole brand new makeup line this past week. I changed my makeup up after all these years. It's anything as simple as taking a 5-minute walk, just sitting in the car and be like, done, out, phones over there, nope, not doing it. It's just something as simple as putting yourself first. So, awesome.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you guys. Bye guys, thanks Viv.
Good way to wrap up
Thank you.
Women's History Month tonight
Yes,
too
that's
with this
true.
talk. So thank you for doing that.
Bye guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys.